Welcome, traveler. Why do we have such a fascination with werewolves? What about these creatures drives us to find out more? Because the concept of a human turning into a wolf is thought-provoking, to say the least. But the way that werewolves are being introduced to modern audiences often divert from the elements set down by their origins and lore. We are now commonly given the romanticized big-screen heartthrobs rather than the terrifying and vicious, instinct-driven monsters that they originally were. So to end the howling misconception that has deluded many, here is the real and detailed lore of the man who became Wolf. In European folklore, a werewolf is defined as a human who at night transforms into a wolf and becomes bloodthirsty to animals, humans, and in some cases, corpses. Depictions of this violent beast generally vary, with some saying that they have the ability to change their shape at will, and others noting that the metamorphosis happens involuntarily, under the influence of a full moon. But in most accounts, werewolves return to their human forms by morning. The word werewolf literally means man-wolf. It comes from the Old English were, meaning man, combined with wolf, meaning wolf, and it is related to Anglo-Norman garwolf, Middle Dutch werewolf, Old Frankish werewolf, and Old High German werewolf. Yet another term for this shape-shifting monster, lycanthrope, and the reason why it is called that by some lies behind its frequently overlooked origins. Among monsters, the werewolf is undeniably a classic and deserves a spot in the ranks beside the vampire and the zombie. But the concept of werewolves dates back to a far more ancient time. One of the first appearances of werewolves can be found in Greek mythology, with the legend of Lycan, the first king of Arcadia and the one Zeus turned into a wolf after he served the god a meal of human flesh. But it was around 2100 BCE when the earliest surviving record of a man-to-wolf transformation was documented in the Epic of Gilgamesh. This epic poem tells the story of a semi-mythic yet confidently heroic king, Gilgamesh, and his exploits as he embarks on a quest for eternal life. In one part of the tale, Ishtar, Mesopotamia's goddess of war and sexual love, turns an enamored shepherd into a wolf after growing bored of his love. This provided us with the first werewolf story known today, but some scholars argue that as far as the human-to-wolf and back-to-human again plot is concerned, Gaius Petronius's The Satyricon is the work to name. The Satyricon is a Latin novel that traces back to the late 1st century CE and recounts the adventures and mishaps of the leads Encolpius and Giton. A major section of this prose contains an anecdote narrated by a character named Niceros. In there, he detailed how he saw a companion stripped naked, make a ring of urine, and turn into a wolf. What's more is that after some time of howling and running in the woods, his old comrade seemingly returned to his human shape. Hence, it simply goes without saying that this Roman take on the story of werewolves offers a rather interesting look at the savagery and animalistic tendencies of the supernatural man-beasts. how do we become a werewolf? How do we live with such a curse? The obvious, of course, is to be born to parents with werewolf ancestry. Sure, it probably isn't a valid option for us, but that would always count as the first, most dead certain way to become a monster. The second is to be cursed into becoming one, just like King Lycan. Another belief concerns spells, magic items, and witchcraft, while one tells of drinking water from a real wolf's paw. However, George Wagner's 1941 film, The Wolfman, easily gave us the most popular method to become a werewolf. For context, this masterpiece did for werewolves what Bram Stoker's epistolary novel, Dracula, did for vampires, which is to set the standards for the concept of werewolves we are familiar with today. One of which is the common knowledge that getting bitten by a werewolf will cause a person to become one. In the film, that happens during a full moon, an explanation as to why we now associate this moon phase with werewolves. Along with these narrative mainstays, the film also influenced the idea that humans, once bitten, are permanently doomed to transform into the cunning and dangerous shape-shifting creatures every full moon, with death as the only known escape. But what do you think about becoming a werewolf? Let us know below. Thank you for taking this journey into darkness with us. I'm Sid Myers, and this is Lore Thrill. Sleep tight.